Let's talk about apartheid, but not the one in South Africa or Palestine, the one that happened in Kosovo. For decades, Albanians suffered under an apartheid system imposed by the Serbian government, a reality most people know nothing about, including one of its darkest chapters, the mass poisoning of Albanian students. This didn't just happen overnight. Albanians in Kosovo were subjected to discrimination and repression under Serbian rule for much of an entire century. But the worst period came in the 1980s and the 1990s, leading up to Kosovo's liberation. Everything escalated when Slobodan Milosevic took office. Almost immediately, tens of thousands of Albanians were fired from public sector jobs. Doctors, teachers, nurses, civil servants. And of course, all of their positions were replaced by Serbs. Factories, enterprises, and even hospitals were reorganized so that Albanians would lose their jobs, their income, their housing, and their basic economic security. Albanian teachers and students were pushed out of schools. Albanian language education was banned. The Serbian regime basically launched a campaign that would erase Albanians from public life. So Albanians had no choice. They were forced to create their own parallel schools, their own clinics, and other institutions just to be able to survive under this apartheid system, much like South Africa and Palestine. And then came one of the most horrific atrocities. In March of 1999, 4,000 Albanian students across 13 municipalities were poisoned by a military-grade nerve agent called sarin. A white powder was placed on their desks, and when the students touched that powder, they immediately began frothing at the mouth, experiencing severe cramps and dizziness, and fainting. The poisonings conveniently happened inside K-12 schools attended only by Albanian students. And because of the apartheid system, Serbians and Albanians were completely segregated, which means Serbian students had no contact with these Albanian classrooms, and they were not affected at all. And the most disturbing part is that all of this happened under Serbian police control. Serbian authorities denied responsibility, they blocked investigations, and they dismissed the students as being hysterical. And in the same breath, Serbian media mocked these victims. Even worse, Albanian students were denied medical treatment, and Albanian doctors were often barred from treating these students who had been poisoned. Silly me, I forgot, this is only 4,000 Albanian students we're talking about. I forgot to mention the other 4,000 Albanian workers that were poisoned at the same exact time, bringing the total number of victims to 8,000 Albanians. And at the same time, police violence, political arrest, and torture became a daily routine simply for being Albanian. Homes were constantly being raided, and entire villages were suffering from collective punishment. These are the same patterns of apartheid that we're seeing in Palestine. This is the textbook definition of apartheid: discrimination and segregation based on one's religious or ethnic background. So different laws for different people. To put it into context, the apartheid system against Albanians in Kosovo is similar to that of the apartheid system in South Africa and Palestine. It was that bad, and yet their suffering under the Serbs is barely acknowledged. This was the unfortunate reality in Kosovo until their liberation in 2008. But their struggle and their eventual freedom proved something very important. Apartheid cannot last forever, and all empires eventually fall, and we will see a free Palestine in our lifetime. From the river to the sea, of course.